Picture this. It's a sweltering summer morning in 1347. The narrow streets of a medieval town are already buzzing with activity. But there's something you notice immediately. Despite having no soap, no hot running water, and no modern bathroom facilities, the people around you don't reek of filth. In fact, many smell of herbs, flowers, and fresh linen. How is this possible? How did medieval people stay clean when everything we consider essential for hygiene simply didn't exist? The truth about medieval cleanliness is far more complex and ingenious than most people imagine. While Hollywood shows us dirty, unwashed peasants stumbling through muddy streets, the reality was that medieval people were obsessed with cleanliness. They just achieved it in ways that would seem completely alien to us today. They had to be creative, resourceful, and willing to work within systems that made every drop of clean water precious and every moment of privacy rare. Medieval people didn't have soap as we know it, but they weren't helpless against dirt and grime. The most common cleaning agent was lye, made by filtering water through wood ash, particularly ash from beech, oak, or fruit trees. This created a powerful alkaline solution that could cut through grease and grime more effectively than many modern detergents. But the process wasn't simple. Making good lye required knowledge of which woods produced the best ash, how to filter it properly, and how to test its strength without burning your skin off. Wealthy households maintained ash barrels specifically for lye production. Servants would collect the finest ash, sift it through cloth, and create different strengths for different purposes. Strong lye for washing clothes and linens, weaker solutions for washing bodies, and specially prepared versions mixed with herbs for hair care. The process took days, and getting it wrong could mean clothes that fell apart or skin that blistered and burned. But here's where it gets interesting. Many medieval people preferred alternatives to lye for personal hygiene. Fuller's earth, a type of clay, was rubbed into hair and skin to absorb oils and dirt, then brushed out along with grime. Wealthy women used ground almonds mixed with honey as a gentle cleanser for their faces. Rose water, lavender water, and herb-infused vinegars served as both cleansing agents and perfumes, killing bacteria while leaving pleasant scents behind. The most surprising cleaning method involved sand and rough cloth. People would scrub their skin with sand to remove dead cells and embedded dirt, then rinse with herb-infused water. This technique actually worked remarkably well, exfoliating skin and removing bacteria that could cause infections. Some regions used crushed eggshells or ground pumice stone for the same purpose. The wealthy even imported fine white sand from specific beaches, believing it superior for delicate skin. Now here's the crucial detail that changes everything about medieval hygiene. Water wasn't just water. Every drop had to be heated over a fire, carried from wells or rivers, and carefully rationed for different purposes. A full body wash wasn't something you did casually. It was planned, prepared, and executed with military precision. Families scheduled bath days, servants spent hours heating cauldrons, and every member of the household took turns using the same carefully warmed water. Medieval people developed an entire science around maximizing the cleaning power of limited hot water. The cleanest person bathed first, usually the lord or lady of the house. Then children, then servants, with the water getting progressively dirtier but remaining warm. Herbs like rosemary, thyme, and mint were added to mask odors and provide antimicrobial benefits. Rose petals, lavender, and chamomile not only smelled pleasant, but actually helped kill bacteria and soothe skin irritation. The timing of these bath rituals followed strict protocols. Saturday was traditionally bath day in Christian households, preparing for Sunday worship. But seasonal variations meant that winter baths were precious luxuries, while summer bathing could happen more frequently. Some noble families maintained heated bathing chambers year-round, but this required enormous resources and dedicated servants to maintain constant fires. But the genius of medieval hygiene lay in what they called dry cleaning. This wasn't about avoiding water entirely, but about maintaining cleanliness between full baths through a complex system of daily maintenance rituals. Every morning, people would wash their hands, face, and mouth with cold water and herbs. They changed linen undergarments frequently because linen was naturally antimicrobial and absorbed oils and sweat from the body. The key piece of medieval hygiene technology was the linen shirt or chemise worn next to the skin. These garments acted like medieval underwear, absorbing body oils and protecting outer clothes from direct contact with skin. Wealthy people owned multiple linen garments and changed them daily or every other day. The dirty linens were boiled in lye and beaten clean on washing stones by the river, a process that actually sterilized the fabric better than many modern washing methods. This linen system created an entire economy of cleanliness. Professional laundresses specialized in treating different types of fabric and stains. They knew which herbs removed specific odors, how to bleach linen white using sunlight and ash, and techniques for removing bloodstains, food residues, and body fluids without damaging delicate fabrics. Master laundresses guarded their secrets jealously and commanded high wages for their expertise. For wealthy households, maintaining cleanliness became an elaborate social ritual. Bathhouses within manor houses featured wooden tubs lined with linen sheets. Servants would heat water in kitchen fires, carry it in buckets up narrow stairs, and pour it through cloth strainers to remove impurities. Rose petals, herbs, and sometimes wine were added to the water. The bathing process could take hours, with servants standing by to add hot water, provide fresh linens, and assist with washing hair. Noble ladies developed intricate hair-washing rituals using egg whites, herbed vinegars, and specially prepared oils. Their hair was considered their crown of beauty, so maintaining it required specific knowledge about pH balance, oil distribution, and protection from lice and other parasites. Some wealthy women employed personal servants whose sole responsibility was hair care, maintaining supplies of rare oils, imported herbs, and specialized combs made from exotic materials. But here's where class differences became stark. While nobles soaked in herb-scented baths with servants attending their every need, peasants made do with cold river water and shared washing spaces. A peasant family might heat a single cauldron of water for the entire household's weekly wash. Children bathed together in wooden buckets. Adults took turns scrubbing down with coarse cloths and homemade lye soap. Privacy was non-existent, and warm water was a luxury reserved for the sick or for special occasions. Rural peasants developed their own ingenious hygiene solutions. They bathed in streams and ponds during summer months, using sand and rough stones to scrub away dirt. In winter, they melted snow or ice and washed in sections, never fully removing their clothes in the freezing cold. Some villages maintained communal bathhouses, where families could pool resources to heat larger quantities of water, but these were rare and expensive to maintain. The most successful peasant hygiene strategy involved frequent linen changes and careful attention to clothing. Even poor families owned at least 2 linen shirts, alternating between wearing one while washing the other. Clothes were beaten clean on rocks, boiled in communal cauldrons, and hung in sunlight that naturally bleached and sanitized the fabric. Wool outer garments were brushed daily, aired frequently, and treated with herbs that repelled lice and fleas. Peasant women became experts in maximizing cleaning power with minimal resources. They created soap from animal fat and ash, made cleansing pastes from ground oats and herbs, and developed techniques for removing stains using natural enzymes from plants and fruits. These skills were passed down through generations, with each family maintaining their own recipes and methods adapted to local resources and climate conditions. Medieval cities created sophisticated public health systems that supported personal hygiene even among the poor. Public bathhouses, called stews, operated in most major towns. These weren't just places to get clean, they were social centers where people gathered to bathe, gossip, and conduct business. The bathhouse keeper maintained large wooden tubs, heated water continuously, and provided basic cleaning materials for a small fee. Urban bathhouses developed elaborate hierarchies of service. Premium facilities offered private tubs, heated towels, massage services, and exotic perfumes for wealthy merchants and visiting nobility. Standard baths provided shared tubs with clean water and basic washing materials for artisans and shopkeepers. Budget facilities offered communal washing areas with minimal amenities for laborers and the poor. But public baths came with their own challenges. The same water was used by multiple people, creating perfect conditions for spreading diseases. Bathhouse regulations required fresh rushes on floors, clean linens for each customer, and regular changing of bath water, but enforcement was inconsistent. Some cities banned public baths during plague outbreaks, recognizing that communal bathing could accelerate disease transmission. The Church played a complex role in medieval hygiene practices. Religious authorities promoted cleanliness as godliness, encouraging believers to wash before prayers, keep their clothing clean, and maintain personal dignity. Monastic rules required regular bathing, clean robes, and careful attention to personal appearance. Some religious orders developed sophisticated bathing facilities with heated rooms, private washing areas, and herb gardens specifically for producing cleaning materials. Monasteries often became centers of hygiene innovation. Monks and nuns experimented with different herbs, developed improved soap recipes, and created systematic approaches to maintaining cleanliness in large communities. Their libraries preserved ancient texts about bathing and personal care, ensuring that Roman and Greek hygiene knowledge wasn't completely lost during the medieval period. But religious teachings also created restrictions that complicated hygiene practices. Some clergy preached that excessive attention to bodily cleanliness indicated vanity and spiritual weakness. Certain religious festivals required ritual washing, while others forbade bathing entirely. The result was a confusing mix of encouragement and prohibition that left many people uncertain about when and how much cleansing was appropriate. Medieval people understood the connection between cleanliness and health, even without modern germ theory. They observed that people who bathed regularly suffered fewer skin infections, that clean clothes reduced lice and flea infestations, and that communities with better hygiene practices experienced fewer disease outbreaks. This practical knowledge led to increasingly sophisticated cleansing rituals and public health measures. Guild regulations controlled the quality of cleaning materials and services. Soap makers had to follow strict recipes, use approved ingredients, and submit their products for testing. Bathhouse operators faced fines for using dirty water, failing to change linens, or allowing diseased customers to contaminate facilities. Laundresses were required to use specific washing techniques, and could lose their licenses for damaging clothes or spreading illness through poor sanitation. Professional soap makers developed specialized products for different social classes and uses. Luxury soaps contained olive oil, exotic herbs, and imported fragrances for wealthy customers. Standard soaps used local animal fats and common herbs for middle-class households. Basic cleaning agents relied on ash and simple plant materials for poor families. Each type required different manufacturing techniques and quality controls. The most ingenious medieval hygiene innovation was the development of portable washing systems for travelers, merchants, and soldiers. These included collapsible leather basins, concentrated cleaning materials, and multi-purpose cloths that could serve as towels, washcloths, and privacy screens. Traveling merchants carried small vials of concentrated rose water and herb-infused oils that could freshen clothing and mask body odors when full washing wasn't possible. Medieval armies developed field hygiene protocols that kept thousands of soldiers clean enough to avoid devastating disease outbreaks. Camp followers, usually women, were responsible for maintaining laundry operations, heating washing water, and ensuring that soldiers' linen was changed regularly. Military leaders understood that poor hygiene could destroy an army faster than enemy weapons, so they enforced strict cleanliness standards and punished soldiers who neglected personal care. Campaign hygiene required innovative solutions to seemingly impossible challenges. Armies carried portable soap-making supplies, established rotating bathing schedules, and created field laundries that could process hundreds of garments daily. Medical officers inspected soldiers for skin diseases and parasitic infections, removing affected individuals from active duty until they recovered through improved hygiene practices. But the system wasn't perfect. Medieval hygiene practices failed regularly, especially during harsh winters, economic crises, or social upheavals. When wood for fires became scarce, heating bathwater became impossible. When wars disrupted trade, soap materials and cleaning herbs disappeared from markets. When plague struck, public baths closed, and people avoided gathering for communal washing. During these crisis periods, medieval communities fell back on emergency hygiene measures, dry brushing with coarse cloth, frequent clothing changes, and heavy use of perfumes and herbs to mask odors. Some people resorted to dangerous practices like bathing in contaminated water or using harsh chemicals that damaged their skin and clothing. These temporary measures often created new health problems while solving immediate cleanliness concerns. The most tragic hygiene failures occurred among the urban poor during economic downturns. Families who couldn't afford fuel for heating water, soap materials, or clean clothing fell into cycles of increasing filth and disease. Children suffered most, developing skin infections, respiratory problems and parasitic infestations that could prove fatal. City authorities sometimes provided emergency washing facilities during these crises, but resources were always insufficient for the scale of need. Medieval hygiene practices created the foundation for modern cleanliness standards, even though the methods were completely different. The principle of daily maintenance between full cleanings evolved into our modern shower routine. The use of multiple clothing layers, with frequent washing of undergarments, became the basis for modern underwear and laundry practices. The understanding that cleanliness prevented disease led directly to modern public health initiatives and sanitation systems. Most importantly, medieval people established the social expectation that cleanliness was a personal responsibility and a community concern. They created the idea that maintaining hygiene was both a practical necessity and a moral obligation. These attitudes, refined over centuries, became the cultural foundation for modern hygiene practices that we now take for granted. So how did medieval people stay clean without soap or running water? They developed an entire civilization built around working with natural materials, conserving precious resources, and maintaining social systems that supported community health. They understood that cleanliness required daily attention, careful planning, and cooperation between individuals and institutions. They created solutions that were often more effective, if more labor-intensive, than many people assume. The next time you turn on a hot shower or pump soap from a dispenser, remember the medieval housewife boiling lye from ash, the peasant family sharing a single cauldron of heated water, or the traveling merchant carrying rosewater and clean linen across dangerous roads. They stayed clean not because it was easy, but because they understood that health, dignity, and survival itself depended on winning the daily battle against dirt, disease, and decay. If you enjoy the hidden sides of medieval life, hit subscribe and give this video a like.